Hello friends, welcome to Institute of Metal Forming TU Berk Academy Freiburg. This is the first lecture of ABAQUS learning. In this video you will learn an overview about ABAQUS software, then we will go more inside into this software and see how it is work. ABAQUS CAE is a simulation software that you can quickly and efficiently create, edit, monitor, diagnose and visualize advanced analysis. So metal forming processes like rolling, drawing, forging and etc. can be simulated by this software too. ABAQUS has different sections including part, property, assembly, steps, interaction, loads or boundary conditions, meshing, job and seeing the results. But in this lecture, we only talk about part designing and how to design different parts in ABAQUS. So, in this lecture, you will learn different modules in part section, ABAQUS modeling space, ways of creating a part in part section. But before that, let's take a quick look on different sections and see what are they? So just imagine you are going to simulate a rolling process, as you can see here. At first you need to design different parts, for example the rulers and billet in part section. And after designing this, you need to apply a proper property to different parts. So after that, you need to assemble the whole parts that you designed in a correct way that you want. And after assembly, you need to define different steps. For example, for grabbing happen, you need to define one step for just grabbing and so on and so on. We will talk about these later. These steps later in more deeply, and after that you need to define interactions between surfaces. For example, the surface of this ruler and the top surface of this billet has interaction, so we need to define it, and also there are other surfaces that has a connection, for example this surface and this surface and so on and so on, and these things need to be defined. And after defining interaction, there is an important section which is load and or boundary conditions. In this section you need to define different boundary conditions that are needed. For example, for this ruler you need to define the speed of this ruler, or fixing this ruler in the correct directions. For example, this ruler should not move in the wrong direction, for example this direction or this direction. It just needs to rotate into this direction. And after defining these boundary conditions, you need to mesh the whole geometry into the meshing section, and then you can define a job or create a job and run the simulation. And after simulation is finished, you can see the results into the results section. So let's just open this software. So after opening the ABAQUS, you can see this window by clicking on this standard or explicit model. You have access to work with this software. If you click here, you can see those sections here too, for example part, property and others. So we are just so let's just talk about how designing different parts. By clicking here, you can create a part. So let's click. You can see this window. Let me make this window a little bit bigger. by here. So in the window you can see different sections which is about modeling space. For example, the modeling space, you can consider it as a 3-dimension, 2-dimension, or axisymmetric, or what should be the type of our part that we are going to design. For example, it should be deformable or rigid. Or here you can see different ways for creating the part. For example, extrusion, revolution, sweep. I'm going to talk about this right now. Or the material should be solid or shell. So let's first talk about what are extrusions, revolution, and sweep. I'm going to show you this here. Yeah, so in extrusion you need to, for creating a part, you just need to draw a section and extend that section into this direction. Let's go into ABAQUS and see how it is work. 3D, deformable, solid, extrusion. By clicking on continue, you have some options to draw what section you want. For example, I'll choose rectangular and I'll draw this. So if you want to add any specific dimensions, you can click here, add dimension, and change the dimension. So this is 45, I'm going to increase it to 50, and this edge can be defined like 20 millimeter. So if after drawing the section you want, you can confirm it by clicking here or pushing your scroll on your mouse. So just do that, and after that you can see the done. Click here. By clicking done, it asks you how much should be the length or depth. For example, 100 millimeter, and the section extended for 100 millimeter. So you see the part is designed. So let's go and see how revolution works. In revolution, after designing the section, you can revolve this section around an axis to what angle you want. And in this designing, it is important that the section should be in one side of the axis. Let's go in ABAQUS and I'll show you better. So I'll name this revolution. And choose the revolution and click continue. So you can see an axis here. I said it is important that section should be here or here, not here. So for example, I'll choose circle and create a circle and give it specific dimension, like for example the radius is 10. So as you can see, this R means radius, and I'll choose 10 and I'll confirm it, and by done it asks you in what angle you want to this section revolve. So I'll choose 180, and by clicking OK, you can see it has revolved for 180 degrees. So yeah, here it might be a question for you, how am I moving this like this, or I can move this like this. If you click here, rotate view, you can move this like this. And if you hold your mouse here, you can see it says if you keep Ctrl plus Alt together on your keyboard, and by left clicking on your mouse, you can move this too. And if you keep your scroll with Ctrl and Alt, you can move like this. So, and for zooming, you can use your scroll. So these are some options that you need to know. So let's go and see how sweep works. For sweep, as you can see, after designing a section, you can extend the section along a defined path. So let's go into the ABAQUS, create a part. I'll name it sweep and choose the sweep and click on continue. So it asks you sketch the sweep path. So first you need to sketch the path. So for example, I'll choose here, goes here, for example, goes here and goes here. And by this you can choose the dimension, for example 30 or 40, and this, for example 20. So after you design the path, you draw the path, you should confirm it by done, and it asks you enter the maximum scale. The previous scale was 200, so I'll let it to be 200 again, and I'll confirm this by pushing the scroll. So now it asks you to draw the section you want to extend along this path. So for example, I can use the line. This time I will draw this. So you can draw anywhere, it doesn't matter it be here or anywhere. You can draw this, for example here, here or here. So it is not important that be in the center of this axis. So I'll confirm this by done. So you can see the sweep part is created. So yeah, you can see the whole designed part here and here too. You can see I'll name this revolution, I'll name this sweep, but this was the extrusion. I can rename it by right clicking on it and click on rename. I can rename it to extrusion. And also, for example, if I want to change anything into this part, for example changing the section or changing the lengths, I can just click on this plus and click on the plus of features and solid extrude. So this is the section here and this is the length. So by, for example, right clicking on the solid extrude and edit, you can see the 100 here is, this is the length. And you can, for example, I can decrease it to 50 and clicking on apply, you can see the change, or 150, you can also see the change. So I'll let it to be 100. Or if I want to change the section, this section, I can right click on it and click on edit. You can see this was the section. I can delete this section and create another section. For example, I'll choose this and delete this. You can after choosing this, you can click on done or pushing the scroll as I told you before, or you can choose both and remove it in once. So for example, I'll choose another section. For example, here comes here, here to here and here. So I'll confirm this and I'll click on OK. So you can see no change happened, but in order to change the section, you just need to right click on feature and regenerate the model. So you can see the model has regenerated. So yeah, So let's go into the section. I'm going to tell you some things which is important. For example, here, this is the fillet that you can apply. For example, between this line and this line, you want to make a round for 2 mm radius. If you click, push your scroll and choose this and this, you can see the fillet is created. And for undoing what you did, you just need to push your control and push your set on your keyboard. So this is important here. And if you want, for example, if you add a dimension here, for example 30, and comes back to the here, and you want to change this 30, you can click here on edit dimension and click here. You can change the dimension here, and these are important here. So I'll go out from this section. So let's talk about some options here. For example, if I want to add another part, for example a cylinder on the top of this surface, what should I do, or how can I do that? There is an option here which is called create solid extrude. If I click here, it asks you to select a plane for this. I'll select, for example, this plane, as I said, and it also asks you an edge on this plane. I'll choose this one, and now you can draw the section that you want to be extruded on this surface. For example, I'll choose 2 cylinders, one here and one here. I will give them 5 mm radius, and the distance between these two can be 50, and the distance from this to this can be, for example, 30. So after confirming this by done, it asks you you have different options. For example, blend or up to face. There is no face on the top of this, so if there would be a face on the top of this, you can choose up to face and choose the surface on the top of this, and it extruded until the top of the surface. But there is no surface there, so we choose the blend, and we can add a specific dimension, for example 20. And if I click OK, you can see 2 cylinder has been created. Or in vice versa, if I want to make 2 holes, how can I do that? There is another option here, create cut extrude. So cut extrude is the same option, just for making the holes. So I'll choose this surface again, and I'll choose this, and I'll make this one 2 rectangulars, one here and one here. So I'll confirm it. So now there are other options. One is blend, which you know what is it. One is up to face. If I choose this face, it comes here. Or if I choose through all, if this part be a little bit complex, for example, there would be if there would be some other surfaces here, and I choose through all, it goes through all surfaces until the end. So this option is for that, and this option is for up to the face. So I'll choose through all and I'll click OK. You can see the holes are created. And there is another option which is important here, and it is making round or fillet. So in a keying edges, for example here and here, or any edges you want to make round, you can click on the round, and at first it asks you to select the lines you want to make around on it. If you push the shift on your keyboard, you can choose both, and after that, by clicking done, it asks you how much should be the radius. I'll choose, for example, 2, and I'll click enter. You can see the round is created. And there is another option called chamfer. If you just hold the left click on this, you can move your mouse on the chamfer, and you can choose it. And after that, you need to choose the lines you want to make chamfer on it. For example, I'll hold the shift and choose these 2 lines, and clicking on done, I'll choose, for example, 2 and enter. You can see the chamfer is created. These were some important modules on the part, but we only talked about the solid. What is shell? As you may understand from the name, shell option only create the shells. So let's just create a shell by extrusion. The way is completely same. The planner is added here. The planner only you can draw a specific plan. So it's like extrusion. It has no difference. So I'll name this shell extrusion and click on continue. And if I, for example, draw a rectangular, you can see the difference, for example 50. So you can see it is created only in a shell way. So this is important for you to know how to create shells in ABAQUS, because in some processes you need to design shells. So these were some important basic modules in ABAQUS part design. You can also design your part in other softwares like SolidWorks. For importing the parts from SolidWorks, you just need to right click on the part and click on import, and you also need to save your work on SAT or IGS. I always use IGS files, and you can import it into the ABAQUS. So for some people it is easy to design their parts in other softwares like SolidWorks. You can try these modules that I did talk in. Later I will upload some exercises. You can practice with those exercises and learn how it is work. These modules or design different things here. So if you had any other question, you can write me an email. I will upload my email too. And don't worry, you will learn fast, and I'll hope you enjoy this video. Have a good time.